Tonight on CTV News at 6. After a double murder in Sudbury.
We firmly believe that these individuals were known to each other and that this was a premeditated act.
Police are looking for 3 suspects in connection with the crime. Stubborn blaze.
Our crews were dispatched from the Whitefish, Waters, Lively, and Long Lake areas to that location.
A former general store in Greater Sudbury is destroyed by fire. And they are working on a deal.
We need to see some job security language that we're fighting for.
Support workers at Ontario colleges could be going on strike.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us on this Tuesday. Police in Sudbury are releasing more information about a double homicide over the long weekend in the south end of the city. Police have made 2 arrests and are searching for 3 other suspects. CTV's Alan Everson has more.
Greater Sudbury Police have released these photos of 3 suspects in a double murder at Rumball Terrace on Parry Street just before 10:30 Friday night. Police responded after getting a call about gunfire inside the 11-story building.
In a case such as this, where there's acts of violence involving multiple firearms, in this case where a loss of life has taken place for 2 individuals, we ask for the public to support the investigation. If they have any information at all, they have many avenues that they can report that information.
Police confirm a 29-year-old man from Southern Ontario and a 41-year-old woman from Sudbury were fatally shot. Ace Ewald has lived in the building for 3 years and says it's getting rougher.
As far as I can tell, I don't actually know anybody involved, which I'm thankful for, but I'm also, worried and compassionate to the people who are, affected by it because it's horrible.
Ewald says there are a lot of seniors and families with children living in the building, and there is a lot of criminal activity.
A lot of us here are probably desensitized to the kind of violence and criminal activity that, we're used to by virtue of living in a rough area.
Shortly after the fatal shootings, police say they located and arrested 44-year-old Keaton Pren of Sudbury in another apartment in the building. He faces 2 counts of first-degree murder.
We firmly believe that these individuals were known to each other and that this was a premeditated act.
Investigators say a 32-year-old woman from Sudbury was arrested 2 days after the fatal shootings and charged with accessory after the fact to murder.
Through our initial investigation, we discovered that an individual in the building had tampered with evidence that could prove to be vital to our investigation.
Greater Sudbury Police confirm there have been 5 homicides in the city so far this year. Alana Everson, CTV News.
Multiple crews responded to a large structure fire in Greater Sudbury last night. The building has since been deemed a total loss, and the blaze is now considered suspicious. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
It was during the dinner hour on Labor Day Monday when crews from multiple stations were called to Highway 17 and Ronca Road in Worthington.
There were reports from motorists passing by that there were smoke and flames coming from the rear of the unit. Our crews were dispatched from the Whitefish, Waters, Lively, and Long Lake areas to that location. When they arrived, they found the garage at the back of the residence to be fully involved with fire.
The occupants of the multi-residential building had gotten out safely and no injuries were reported. Because of a lack of fire hydrants and limited access to municipal water, tankers had to be brought in to battle the blaze.
We brought in a total of 5 water tankers from our service that eventually ended up using the creek across the street down Worthington Road to pump water into the tankers and transport it to the scene. We were there from 6 p.m. till after midnight this morning.
The damage is pegged at roughly $500,000 and 1 person is displaced. The building, now deemed a total loss, was once home to 3 apartments and was the former Beaver Lake General Store.
And in order to access what was left burning that was difficult to access, again, lots of different renovations extensions and additions and add-ons and roof structures. So in order to get access to that, to get that fire out, we had to bring some of that down, which meant we had to take down what was left of the building and then make sure everything was extinguished. So the building is a complete loss.
The fire is being treated as suspicious and has been turned over to Sudbury Police. Sudbury Police are working in collaboration with the Ontario Fire Marshal's Office to determine where and how the fire started. But at this point, that information has not yet been determined. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Worthington.
A memorial service for the Norwegian hiker who went missing and was later found dead was held on Monday. Stefan Schotelvik was a 29-year-old man from Norway who had set out on a hiking journey. He was expected to arrive in York Factory, but never made it. His body was later found by a search crew near the area. His family arrived in Winnipeg on Friday. Northern and First Nations community members who had met Schotelvik during his travels also attended. His younger sister said he had been searching for a deeper meaning in life.
On the way, he met the people of Canada and fell in love for the ways of living here, together with the First Nation. The respect and love for the nature and the humbleness in how to deal with the greatness of Mother Earth must have been giving Stefan so much answers.
A family spokesperson said Schotelvik's body will be flown back to Norway on Wednesday. A service is also planned at the family's local church. There are some big changes coming to the township of Black River-Matheson. The township is gearing up to move the location of its town hall from 4th Avenue and Highway 11 to the downtown. The township's mayor says council made the decision a year ago in the hopes of attracting more businesses to the area, and adds the former location has recently been purchased. He says the move will be beneficial for residents.
We'll be moving on September 15th. We're moving to a rented location right downtown in our community to allow residents easier access to come in and ask questions, pay bills, find out what's going on. And with that, we have a development happening in our old office. It'd be a major development. Can't really say exactly what's happening, but it's a fairly major development for our community.
And some additional changes to the township include 3 outdoor rinks opening this season. All right, moving now to the weather. We are coming off just a beautiful weekend, but things are going to get wetter. Here's CTV's Rick Wyman to tell us more about that.
How wet will it be, Tony? You will soon find out. The 7-day forecast and a lot more. In Sault Ste. Marie, 15 to 25 millimeters of rain to start things off. To kickstart things off in the Soo for tomorrow. Systems map, this is the system that is approaching the northeast, and with it, a lot of precipitation, so we'll talk about that. Chance of showers, risk of a thunderstorm, 60% chance of showers for a couple of days, so get ready for that. We've got our current temperatures, not too bad tonight. It'll be perhaps our last night for the next couple of nights that you'll be able to enjoy without precipitation. Tony, details coming up just a couple of minutes away with our current temperatures.
Thanks, Rick. A new college year has begun. Still to come on CTV News at 6. Students could, though, face a strike by support workers. First, let's go to Timmins, and this is a live webcam of Gillies Lake, courtesy of the city of Timmins. It's 24 Celsius. More news right after this.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
At Ontario colleges, many students are dealing with new classes, professors, and also a potential strike from thousands of support staff. CTV's Eric Tashner has more from Canadore College in North Bay.
As students return to post-secondary or attend college for the first time,
I was a bit nervous at first, but the energy around here is very good.
Their eyes are on current talks between the union representing full-time support staff and the College Employer Council.
Yeah, it does worry me a bit because I've just got here, so...
10,000 full-time support staff at 24 Ontario colleges are prepared to be on the picket line on September 11th if a new deal is not reached.
Every support services person is attached to services for our students. And when we're walked out the door, they don't have the services we need.
The union says it has yet to see movement from Ontario colleges that would address its members' top priority.
We need to see some job security language that we're fighting for.
They have some demands that are simply unacceptable.
The College Employer Council says it's already offered employment stability and $145 million in new benefits and wage increases.
They couch them in what they call job security, but it includes a demand that there be no campus mergers, campus closures. They have a demand that there be absolutely no reduction or layoffs of their staff, and that's just something that the colleges can't agree to.
The union says years of deliberate government underfunding has led to what it calls one of the largest layoffs in provincial history, with more than 10,000 jobs cut across the college system and more than 650 programs either canceled or suspended.
Usually it ends pretty quick, even if we do have strikes.
For students on campus, they're hoping for a quick resolution and for talks to lead to a deal.
I hope that they can reach a deal and everyone can be happy.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
And in a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for the province said that while the Ministry of Colleges, Universities, Research Excellence and Security is not party to labor negotiations, it is monitoring the situation and remains hopeful that all parties reach a fair deal that puts students first. Secondary students also headed to school today, but students in Parry Sound gathered in front of what would have been their high school, demanding answers. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
On a day where students should be heading to school, Parry Sound Panthers gathered outside of their high school as a demonstration of their frustration.
It's pretty much supposed to be my first day of grade 12, but I'm out here protesting my rights that I should be in a school and not online today.
Like, I'm in grade 11, and grade 11 and 12 are like the most important years for high school. And so like other students all across the country and province will be able to get all that like experience and like classes that they needed to go into university or college.
It's been a bunch of flip-flopping and there's been zero communication because they waited till the last week before school to release any information.
Most students across the province are starting secondary school today. However, Parry Sound High School has allocated today for students to pick up laptops to begin remote learning tomorrow. Some grade 12 students are looking to their future of post-secondary, and they say being online is stripping them of more than just in-person learning.
Everyone around you still gets to go to school, they still get to participate in sports and like extracurriculars and everything, so you're the only people missing out on like especially the importance of grade 12 and just being together with everyone. You're missing out on that aspect, and it's very isolating.
I think it will affect it too, knowing that like we're one of the only schools that are online right now. We probably got the end of the rope here, knowing that we got the half demolished school all online. It's going to be hard.
Also in attendance today was the mayor of Parry Sound, showing support for the students with no school.
I've asked for a resolution to gather the mayors from the area and the chiefs and to have a meeting and figure out how we're going to move this forward in a common voice that gets best results.
Students and parents continue to voice their frustrations with the Near North District School Board. In a statement from the Minister of Education, Paul Calandra, he shared that a review is being done immediately and the report will be completed within 30 days. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Parry Sound.
And a new report finds that bullying and poverty are on the rise among Canadian youth. The report by Raising Canada says more than 70% of youth between the ages of 12 and 17 experienced bullying in the past year, and 1 in 5 kids experienced cyberbullying. The report also found that more than 13% of children were living in poverty by the end of 2024. The head of the charitable organization Children First Canada says the findings highlight a generation at risk. Sudbury City Council is moving over to the Lionel E. Lalonde Centre in Isilda starting next month, but not before a few upgrades are made. The relocation, while temporary, will require $200,000 in hardware, technology, furniture, and moving costs. An additional $100,000 of general upgrades are also happening for minor renovations and better security at the facility. Also moving over to the center are the provincial courts. As mentioned, the move is temporary while the city ramps up its $65 million plan to incorporate the city's art gallery and main library into Tom Davies Square. 3 years after Ontario Premier Doug Ford gave mayors in the province more power to fast-track housing development, growth has been slow. The strong mayor's powers have also brought some unintended consequences. CTV's John Woodward has a closer look at why.
Building housing among the main goals when Ontario's premier rolled out sweeping changes to city halls across the province, giving mayors extra sway to sidestep city council and hire and fire top city staff. But a new report is questioning whether that's working out.
It's stress built upon stress built upon stress.
Sabine Matheson with Strategy Corp surveyed 32 chief administrative officers in Ontario cities and found deep concerns about the new powers.
We're not getting a lot of the upside, but we're getting the potential risk for the downside, particularly after the next round of municipal elections.
Anonymous CAOs say in the report that being beholden to one mayor forces the CAO to play this political game. Another said the administration is no longer separate from the politics and the relationship is fundamentally changing. A relationship another said could be over when the political wind shifts, saying, "I've just decided I'm going to be fired at some point." Mayors have used those powers to fast-track housing in places like Caledon and Hamilton. But data shows that many more times those powers have been used for something else. One decision in Aurora this spring about a shelter outraged sidelined councillors.
It's an affront to our democracy.
According to provincial data that tracks 50 largest municipalities, 15 of them have exceeded their targets for 2024. 8 are on track and 27 have not met their targets.
The big struggle that's in the way of getting housing built right now has got more to do with the economic fundamentals than it has to do with any quirks of decision-making inside city halls.
If the Premier's intent was truly about building homes and about building infrastructure faster, he would see the results and see that it hasn't actually delivered. He would put the strong mayor powers on hold and evaluate why that might be.
A housing ministry spokesperson said in a statement it is the responsibility of the mayor, council and municipality to implement the strong mayor framework in line with legislation and regulations, saying it's up to the mayors to get their house and their city's housing in order. John Woodward, CTV News.
All right, back now for a check on your current conditions. Here's Rick.
Okay, Tony, some nice conditions for this evening across Northeast, but first this subtle reminder of what we can expect over the course of the next couple of days. We've got precipitation in our forecast, and of course, you'll see that, as you can see that band pretty well hovering over the Northeast. So again, we'll get to that momentarily as soon as we can get some action going on right now with our... Okay, I'm going to say that it's a relatively nice night in Northeastern Ontario. The temperatures with the humidex factor a little bit above normal, but again, some sun, some clouds, some sun and cloud, a mixture of pretty well everything. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast, some details coming up in the forecast. I mean, I'd love to show you the temperatures right now, but this isn't working. So, Tony, we'll send things back to you.
Thanks so much for that, Rick. Well, Canada is watching. Next on CTV News at 6. A U.S. federal appeals court tosses President Trump's tariff strategy a curve. And a small North Shore community is hosting a big fall fair this weekend. We have our eyes on the tariff situation and what it means for Canada now that a U.S. federal appeals court has thrown much of Donald Trump's tariff strategy into uncertainty. CTV's Rachel Aiello now on where things stand.
The start of September marked the end of Canada's counter tariffs on U.S. goods covered under CUSMA. But today, Donald Trump showed no signs of reciprocating. The U.S. president is preparing to defend his global tariff regime before the Supreme Court.
Because without the tariffs, this country is in serious, serious trouble.
Trump standing by his trade tactics comes as one cabinet minister asserted today that despite dropping retaliatory tariffs, Prime Minister Mark Carney hasn't put his elbows down.
There's no capitulation. Let's be clear, zero. Never, never. That's not happening. We're trying to match exactly what the Americans have done.
And trade talks are ongoing.
It's a complicated negotiation.
That negotiation will be a central focus as Carney convenes his cabinet in the GTA. Starting tomorrow, the Prime Minister and his front bench will be planning fall priorities, from preparing for the CUSMA review and supporting tariff-impacted sectors to fast-tracking big projects. To that end, today, Internal Trade Minister Chrystia Freeland hosted a Made in Canada summit at a Hamilton steel plant to try and generate domestic investment in major transportation projects. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Federal Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu has announced new money for the government's youth employment strategy, which aims to ensure that the next generation has the skills necessary to succeed in the economy of the future.
Today is about making sure that the next generation can actually succeed in this rapidly changing landscape. And so today the Government of Canada is announcing that we're investing $26.1 million in 6 new projects under ESDC's Youth Employment and Skills Strategy.
Hajdu says economic uncertainty fueled by the U.S. trade war and rapid changes in tech have added significant challenges for youth. She also says that many business owners are reporting job and skill shortages. The new projects will bring together service providers, employers, and youth to skills match talent to employers. Ontario Premier Doug Ford had some choice words during a dramatic protest against the parent company of Crown Royal. He blasted the company for closing a plant in the province while pouring out a bottle of whiskey in front of the cameras.
I get it. I get that companies move back and forth. But what I don't get, when you're someone's largest customer in North America, you're going after the largest customer. You know something? I always say smart people aren't too smart. And you guys are about as dumb as a bag of hammers for doing this. So, you know something? I found a bottle, and I don't even drink, of Crown Royal, right? I see that Crown Royal. I saw it at home. So this is what I think about Crown Royal. That's what they could do. And I think everyone else should do the same thing. Start supporting companies that make whiskey here by Ontario people. That's what we need to do, is support each other.
Crown Royal recently announced it's shutting its plant in Amherstburg and shifting bottling operations to the United States. The protest followed a news conference where Ford announced the provincial government is investing nearly $13 million to protect workers in the Waterloo region. The funding will train more than 50,000 people for in-demand jobs in the face of U.S. tariffs. And the Ford government is also taking another step to break down barriers for residents from other provinces to work in Ontario.
Architects, engineers, I mean, just think you graduate from Memorial University or in Alberta, you're out working in the oil sands and you want to come and work in Sarnia in our sector and you're held up for months navigating regulatory processes, and we want to make sure that it's much easier as we're building a stronger Canada, that these workers can flow freely.
Starting next year, certified professionals will be able to start working in Ontario within just 10 days once their credentials are confirmed. The new rules will apply across professions covered by more than 50 regulatory authorities and 300 certifications. And there's plenty of news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
I'm back,
Good.
baby, with the forecast, Tony, and we've got the precipitation right now. As you can see, hey, it's working. The indicator is working. Forecast radar, this is what is about to affect us coming up for the next couple of days. A heavy band of precipitation. Risk of thunderstorms, of course, some cooler temperatures with that rain. So a big change in our weather forecast from what we experienced over the weekend. Greater Sudbury, a few clouds. Sault Ste. Marie, chance of showers. Timmins, chance of showers. Temiskaming Shores, a few clouds and clear in the North Bay. Meanwhile, in Moosonee, showers for tonight. Chance of showers, Caphurst, Wawa showers, increasing cloud in Gore Bay, Parry Sound, a few clouds. Okay, seeing is believing, your 7-day forecast. Sudbury, Nickel Belt. Let's take a look at this system that's coming into the northeast. You've got the chance of showers, the odd sunny break to start things off, increasing cloud in Sudbury Nickel Belt for tomorrow. Risk of a thunderstorm late during the day, so some shower activity 22. Then we go to 60% chance of showers on Thursday and Friday, cooling off to 14 and 12. Only a 30% chance as that diminishes on Saturday, 14 again, another 14-degree day. So here we are. Early September, we go from warm to cooler temperatures, sun and cloud, Sunday and Monday, 14 and 16. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, okay, the rain's coming tomorrow. Showers 15 to 25 millimeters. Then we've got 60% chance of showers on Thursday and Friday, diminishing to 40 on Saturday, 30 on Sunday. A wet week in the Soo. Monday, a bit of a break, cloud cover, and 15. Timmins, Cochrane campus facing more of the same with showers, risk of a thunderstorm for tomorrow, 24, cooling off by 9 degrees Thursday, Friday. We've got 60% chance of showers both days here, diminishing to 40 on Saturday, 30 on Sunday. Take a look at 11's 3 consecutive days. Bump back up to 15 Monday, some cloud cover. And again, that is still below normal for this time of the year. That should be at around 19. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake in the big KL for the next couple of days. Showers, risk of a thunderstorm, maybe the odd sunny break for tomorrow. High of only 23, then 16 on Thursday, 60% chance of showers. That's pretty well the story right across northeastern Ontario with the band of precipitation, or should I say the band's about to approach us. 60% chance on Friday, dropping down to 13. 13 again on Saturday. 30% chance of showers, then some cloud cover over the course of Sunday and Monday, but your temperatures 12 and 15. Take a look at your evening lows. You go from 6 to 5 to 4 to 3, back up to 7 and 8 in time for next Monday. Can't forget North Bay and West Nipissing. Sun and cloud tomorrow, not too bad. Chance of showers for both days, Thursday and Friday at 60%. Bit cooler though, 15, 14, 13 on Saturday, 30% chance of showers. Cloud cover Sunday, 14, then back up to some sun and cloud Monday, 16 degrees. So get ready for the wet couple of days we are about to experience. You got to say, you were forewarned. So let's take a look now at our pick of the day. Okay, Ron Boulard. This is Barnum Park. I've got to experience that park one day. Porcupine Lake, Porcupine, great sunset shot, Ron, taken just the other day. Ron, I appreciate that. Perhaps your pick could be on tomorrow. Just let us know where it was taken. Stick around. Tony has more news after the break.
As we turn the page on another month, autumn is in our sights. This week, the Bruce Mines Agricultural Society is hosting its fall fair. To tell us more, Doug Strum now joins us from Bruce Mines. Hi there, Doug.
Hello there. How are you?
I'm doing well. Give us a quick overview about what will be happening. It's a big 3-day event.
Yeah, for our little small town of 600, it's a pretty big weekend for sure. Friday night's always a huge hit. We have our 21 years this year, the 21st Demolition Derby. That starts off Friday night. We have a little bit of opening ceremonies, start around 6 o'clock that night, and then we lead into the Derby. We got Saturday, we got, I'm just going to look through things here because I don't remember them all. We got horse shows, vendors all day. We got archery, axe throwing, and jelly balls new this year for Saturday. That's kids and adults all alike can go and try those things out. We have a huge historical display that one of the local historians sets up in the arena, and it's amazing for local history. It's crazy. That's both days. We got kids pet show that day. There's a tractor show, and they added a big rig show to that this year, so there's going to be some big trucks, I believe, as well. We have a baking auction this year that's in support of the Lighthaven Christian Home, so all proceeds will go to that. And then 1 o'clock, that's the all infamous 7 years now. I started that event about 7 years ago, the lawnmower races, and that has turned out to be a huge hit, that one.
So is that the most popular one, the riding lawnmower races?
It's getting to be a big one. We actually, a friend of mine, John Harvey, and myself and our kids, we built a state-of-the-art track that was just for this. We're trying to use it for some other events too, but it was built just for the lawnmower races. We actually just got the chain link fence done around it this year. A big thanks to Pinder Contracting that come and helped us with that. Yeah, it's getting to be a big event, and most of the tractors are just stock lawnmowers. Like, there's not much done to them. There is a class that's a little high end. They're quick. There's a lot of horsepower behind them. They're called the super modifieds, but yeah, it's a pretty big event.
Doug, how many attend the fall fair? Any idea, and where do they come from?
So Friday night is the one that I know the most about. I believe we're anywhere between 15 and 2,500 people, including the kids, just for Friday night.
That's incredible.
Then, yeah, it's pretty good. Saturday, I don't know what our numbers are for the gates. I want to say around 2,500 maybe Saturday. It's a little lower on Sunday. There's not as much events on Sunday, but we're working on that. We're trying to add more every year to that.
Doug Strum of the Bruce Mines Agricultural Society joined us, and to see more of the event this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, head to Facebook and type in Bruce Mines Fall Fair. Health Canada has approved a new drug to treat certain types of ovarian cancer. As CTV's Pauline Chan tells us, it's offering new hope for patients.
Liz Reichert was diagnosed with ovarian cancer after a medical episode while on vacation in Paris in 2019.
No other symptoms, except as I was sitting on that bus, I felt like, oh my God, I feel like I'm getting a giant period.
It was stage 3B, with stage 4 being the most advanced form.
It meant that the cancer had already spread from my pelvic area into my peritoneum, which is the kind of sac that holds all your organs in your belly.
Ovarian cancer is typically quite advanced when it's finally detected. Reichert had surgery followed by platinum-based chemotherapy and has been doing very well for the past 6 years. But for most ovarian cancer patients, there comes a time when those platinum-based chemos no longer work. That's why the approval of a new drug called Elahere is so significant.
Mirvetuximab is the generic name. So it's approved for women with what we call platinum-resistant ovarian cancer.
Dr. Alan Covens says Elahere acts on the folate receptors on the cell membranes.
The majority of ovarian cancer cells, like 70-75%, will express folate receptor positivity on the cell membranes. So the majority of patients would be eligible to benefit from this drug. Not everybody, but the majority.
Reichert is living a good life now, but always aware of the chance of her cancer returning, and knowing new medications are becoming available keeps her full of hope. Elahere is expected to become available in Canada next year. In the meantime, patients should talk to their doctor about treatment options. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Just 2 days ago, it was Overdose Awareness Day, and Save Our Young Adults, also known as SOYA in Sault Ste. Marie, held its annual gathering to add names to its memorial wall and raise awareness of the resources for those living with addiction. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
It's an event that every attendee wishes they had no connection to. Overdose Awareness Day. The annual gathering in the Soo, held by local support group and community hub SOYA, sees dozens come together to remember loved ones. The Breathitt family are among those mourning after losing their son and brother Justice in 2023.
It's hard. I watched him take his first breath. I'm the one that found him. He didn't want to die. Life's not the same anymore.
The family says seeing the names of loved ones on the memorial wall and looking at their pictures brings solace, as does being around others who have gone through a similar experience.
So many people have passed away from overdoses, so it's sad, but it's also comforting knowing that there's other families that have gone through exactly what we've gone through and people that are still going through it. What we've gone through.
Harm reduction officials say education is key to the event. Local agencies gather at the nearby pavilion to inform residents on how they can help in times of trouble. One Canada-wide agency serves as an online safe consumption site.
We have people calling in to use drugs while on the phone. We sit on a phone call for 40 minutes. The first 20 minutes, you are able to use the drugs while on the phone, and then the other 20, we sit there and we make sure that if something happens, then we're able to call for help.
The education is so important. Like, like harm reduction, drug tests, like, it's just, the education is what's gonna save us, and the actual agencies, we're all joining forces. Like, we're all on the same page. Like, let's save lives and let's talk about it.
Rainer Elliott notes that since the beginning of last year, the Algoma district has led or been near the top of the opioid death rate in Ontario. While those numbers have declined recently, the Soya founder says there is still a lot of work left to do to further decrease that ranking. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
The North Shore Health Network says the Matthews Site Emergency Department in Richards Landing is closed today and tomorrow. It will reopen on Thursday, September 4th at 8 a.m. Those seeking medical care can use the Thessalon Site or Sioux Area Hospital. For emergencies, the Health Network says call 911. 2 northern hospitals are getting new funding to help with upgrades and repairs. More than $2 million will be going to North Base Hospital, which will directly benefit patients dealing with mental health and addictions over the next 2 years. Almost $60,000 will go to Mattawa General Hospital as well. The money is intended to support infrastructure upgrades at these locations that area MPP Vic Fideli says will create safe or comfortable spaces for people and their families connecting with care. Another northerner has hit the lottery jackpot and is also helping Sioux Area Hospital at the same time. Congratulations to Shirley Kay, who won more than $294,000 in the Split the Pot lottery. She walked into Paquette's Confectionery and bought a ticket. She's the first convenience store purchaser to win the grand prize. Congratulations. And tributes are pouring in. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. People are remembering First Nations actor Graham Greene, who has passed away.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
Another school year is underway. The majority of students can make the adjustment back to the routine of classes and school life every day, but for some, the return to school carries a lot of anxiety. They may worry that they can't keep up with the work. They may also be facing anxiety due to bullying or feeling like a social outcast, and this anxiety only gets worse as the weeks go on. How can you help students be motivated to learn when they are terrified of being back in school? That is our topic on this episode of Ask an Expert. Our guest is Robert Montgomery, who is a program coordinator and professor in the Child and Youth Care program at Cambrian College, and also a registered psychotherapist. Welcome, Robert.
Thanks for
So
having me.
tell us, how common of a problem is this that some students really struggle to be in school for academic and or social reasons, and what is driving that?
So the reality is it's far more widespread an issue than you might think. We know from statistics that about 1 in 5 children and youth will experience some sort of mental health challenge in their lifetime. So we know that a lot of the factors that are leading into that for a school return is that a lot of kids might be facing that sense of fear and panic for reasons such as academic pressure, social isolation issues such as bullying or isolation. They might be struggling with some issues surrounding ADHD, autism spectrum, or learning exceptionalities. And all these factors, including many others, can influence that sense of panic and fear that they might be feeling going back to school.
Wow, okay. So what are some best practices parents can put in place to help their children manage their anxiety so that they can thrive in the classroom and in the schoolyard?
So first and foremost, it's all about validation and acknowledgement. We need to understand that sense of panic that they're having, that sense of fear, is a real feeling to them. And at the end of the day, we need to validate those feelings and acknowledge that we see how they're feeling and how it's impacting them. So even if the danger may not be real or perceived, the feeling is real and we need to acknowledge that. Next thing we need to do is really need to focus on reestablishing those routines that we may have slipped a little bit on in the summer. Reestablish those routines and practice the coping skills and the emotion regulation skills like deep breathing and mindfulness and all those other great strategies to help them cope so that they can actually use those at school.
Yeah, schedules are very important for coping mechanisms for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how important is it to work with the school to help a student succeed, and what can parents do to be effective in their advocacy with the school?
So the best thing you want to be is be a team with the school. Take the time to build relationships with the school, get to know the principal, the teacher, the guidance counselor, the child and youth care practitioner who's an EA. These are your partners at school, so you're going to work closely with them to find the strategies that are going to best work for your child. We also want to access community supports if needed. So don't hesitate to reach out to the great mental health supports in our community, the doctors, the therapists that are all there to help your child have a successful return to school.
Yeah, it's all about meeting the kids where they're at.
Absolutely.
Sure. It's Robert Montgomery, is a program coordinator and professor in the Child and Youth Care program at Cambria College and also a registered psychotherapist. Make sure you tune in next week for another segment of Ask an Expert.
Well, it's going to be a busy month for Sudbury's Indie Cinema. The Indie will showcase 74 feature films, and it will host Regional Film Festival Studio Ghibli North. Now in its third year, Studio Ghibli North showcases Japanese anime films. Last month, the cinema was unexpectedly shuttered due to a technical failure of the projector.
14 days in total that we were completely closed. So it messed up a series of screenings. Of course, we had no revenue during this period. And one of the things for September is that we have grabbed those films and those screenings that were canceled, and we've pulled them into the month of September so that, you know, Sudbury and beyond audience has a chance to see these amazing films.
Studio Ghibli North runs from September 12th to 14th. Tributes are pouring in today for celebrated Canadian First Nations actor Greene, who died at the age of 73. Best known for his Oscar-nominated breakthrough role as Kicking Bird in Kevin Costner's 1990s film Dances with Wolves, Greene also starred in a number of other high-profile feature films such as The Green Mile, Maverick, and Die Hard with a Vengeance. His manager has confirmed he died in Stratford, Ontario after a long illness.
Entertainment brought to you by the Cinefest Red Carpet Patron Program.
New records are being set by Taylor Swift, and a new documentary follows the water in David Daniels' Hollywood Report.
Taylor Swift has broken yet another record, this time one of her own. Spotify says Swift's upcoming album, The Life of a Showgirl, has the most pre-saved album countdown page in the streaming service's history. Less than 3 weeks after she announced the album, and more than a month before its release date, October 3rd. The record had been held by Swift's 2024 album, The Tortured Poets Department.
Along its nearly 1,500-mile journey, the Colorado connects the Rocky Mountains to the Gulf of California and nurtures landscapes that are bursting with wildlife.
The American Southwest chronicles the natural history of that region, how the Colorado River sustains both society and the natural world, and the need to manage it for both to continue to thrive. The documentary, narrated by Indigenous actress and activist Quanah Chasinghorse, opens in theaters Friday. Locations and showtimes at theamericansouthwest.film. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Nestle has fired its CEO just a year after he was given the job. The move comes after an investigation into an undisclosed romantic relationship between the company CEO and a direct subordinate, which breached Nestle's code of business conduct. This is the second CEO the Swiss food giant has removed in a year. The head of Nestle's Nespresso division will take over the executive position. 10 years ago, Kraft and Heinz merged in a multi-billion-dollar deal. Now they are separating. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has more on that and other business headlines.
One of the biggest food companies in the world is downsizing. Kraft Heinz is splitting in two only a decade after merging. The company says the complexity of its structure as one massive enterprise makes it hard to prioritize. Heinz products like ketchup and Kraft mac and cheese will be under one new company, Kraft Singles and Oscar Mayer under another. Here's how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar is down 14 cents to 72.58. West Texas Intermediate is up more than $1.50 to 65.55. Western Canadian Select is down to 51.05, and the TSX is up 51 points to 28,615. That's another record close. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $85.77, closing the day at $35.3369 US an ounce. Silver up $1.15 to end the day at $40.89. Copper down a penny, and nickel down a nickel, ending the day at $6.82 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Wednesday weather.
Well, we've got some rain in the forecast, Tony. We'll take a look at some of the conditions that you can expect for tomorrow, beginning in the greater Sudbury and the Nickel Belt. Okay, 22 with showers for late tomorrow. Timmins, we've got showers at 24, 15 to 25 millimeters of rain in Sault Ste. Marie. Now, of course, all three areas also pose the risk of a thunderstorm in the forecast for tomorrow. Meanwhile, in North Bay, 23, some sun and cloud. Parry Sound, increasing cloud, 24, and showers. Temiskaming Shores, risk of a thunderstorm at 23. Get ready, Tony, for a couple of days of wet weather. It's coming our way.
Thanks, Rick. And finally for us tonight, an Ottawa man has stepped his way into the record books.
The end was like, all right, you know, it's showtime, and there's no way that I can disappoint this crowd. But the crowd gave me lots of motivation.
Inside the Good Life Fitness in Orleans over the weekend, Hellcat Jaffer completed 111,285 steps on the Stairmaster in 24 hours, breaking the previous record of 108,000. He broke the record with 30 minutes to spare, with friends, family, and community members cheering him on. The Guinness Book of World Records still has to confirm the records. Well done. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.